Good morning, darlings. How are you doing? It is another beautiful, beautiful day. The sun is rising. I just came back from the park watching the sunrise, and it's a little chilly here this morning. Oh, there's the white cat that the neighbor was asking me about last night. How are y'all doing? You doing all right with these energies? It's from a human perspective, it is not easy, sweethearts. Yet from the spiritual side of us, of ourselves, it's beautiful. The mind cannot wrap around the idea and the energies that are presenting themselves. No, Snoopy. No, baby. No. Come on now. I'm barking at the cat. The mind cannot wrap itself around anything spirit says. I'm letting the puppies out. And with that comes a lot of doubt within yourselves. Good morning, Dwan. Honey, I'm perfect. I am beautiful. I'm going through a lot of integration, just like the rest of you. My physical body is, again, we're crystallining, and with that comes seemingly distortions of aches and pains and nausea and bouts of tears, bouts of emotions. That's all normal. Periods of being really tired and not wanting to do anything but rest. That is normal with these. Good morning, beautiful. In the physical, when we get all these energies in, sweethearts, even though the human aspect of us, and especially for those that are just awakening or really not consciously aware of what's happening in the world, or choose to not see beyond the physical, if you will, and that's okay. Because each one of you are on your own individual journeys. You each are on your own level of awareness. And these energies are affecting everybody, regardless if they're aware of what is happening in the world. These energies play a major role, if you will. And so it is extremely necessary and important to really honor your physical vessel. If, so many post and message me and comment, not only on my post, but many of our posts, everybody's, about different things. And what many don't see, and you cannot see energy. Energy is expressed through each of you, through your actions, your words, and your emotions. And when you can really come to understand that everything is energy, and your physical body is just an expression of that energy, it really helps to in the changing of that energy, in the creating and changing the energy. With your physical vessel, if all of these energies come in, like I was saying, many people comment and message me and make posts. I'm tired. When is this going to be done? Sweet ones, awakening is a never-ending process. It is eternal. And I can already hear the groans. My whole body just literally hears all these groans from you guys. It's an eternal process of consistently raising your frequencies to a higher and higher level. But your physical bodies, if this whole process of awakening was to happen all at once for you, sweet ones, your physical bodies could not handle it. And therefore, that is why it is a journey. That is why it happens in layers, if you will. It is why each of you are at a different level of awareness. Some physical bodies can take in more light than you can take in more light than your neighbor. And it all depends on the amount of inner work that you're willing to do. The higher you raise your frequencies, the easier, well, I can't say easier. Let me restate that. Thank you. It is more gentle and graceful when these energies come in. As far as integrating them, never is it any easier, if you will, in the physical body. The physical body is, until it is fully crystalline into its light body, the physical body is going to go through aches and pains. So many think they're dying because they feel like they can't breathe. They feel like their heart is being broke open, and it is. And it's not that you're dying a physical death like it seems like, but you are dying a death every moment. Julie says, I've been so tired lately and having dizziness, nausea, and emotional moments. Okay, let's observe that, Julie. And Sweet Ones, this goes for all of you, because many of you are experiencing the same things. In my live video last night, Barat was like, you seem like you're in pain. No, I was just going, well, my physical vessel was in pain, but I was in discomfort. Not pain, discomfort. But again, that's these energies that are coming in. The equinox energies, the planetary energies, just because they happen on a specific timeline or a specific time frame in linear time, doesn't mean that these energies are not continuously being felt by some of you, each of you, all of you. And the reason being is because in the higher frequencies, there is no time. It is only in the linear aspect of yourself or your physical aspects of your life that time exists. In your heart, there is no time. You're in your dream time. Your dream time is your real life, your true life, if you will. And the reason why that is in your dream time, in your meditations, in the stillness that you allow yourself to go into in your hearts. In your heart, time stops. How many times or think back to when you were a teenager, if you will. If you go back and you observe that space of time, remember when you first fell in love, puppy love, whatever you want to call it. Remember how you were on top of the world. Remember how nothing, not your parents, not your friends, not your schoolwork, it didn't matter what happened to you. You were in love. And you were on top of the world. And nothing could go wrong. Nothing can take you off of that high, if you will. That is your natural, true state. And it is in those moments when you are in love and you are in that space in your heart that you allowed yourself to be free. Think back to those times when you fell in love. If you're married or in a relationship, observe those moments, because in those moments, that shows you your true nature. Nothing, it didn't matter how drastic, traumatic, whatever it was, in those moments when you were in that high of being in love, you didn't focus on the negative. You didn't focus on everything that was going wrong. You focused on being in love. And that is the feeling of your true nature and where each of you are returning to being in love on that high in every breath, in every moment. Because love is life, and life is that love of being in love. And when you can maintain that feeling of being in love, that is where all time stops. And you don't focus on time. You focus on that high, that being in love. It is why so much of humanity gets into addictions, especially drugs. Whether it's pills, I don't consider marijuana a drug, so I'm not even going there. But people get high, whether it's from cannabis, whether it's from pills, whether it's from synthetic drugs like meth, crank, coke, heroin, crack, it don't matter. Acid, DMT, all of that stuff. The reason people do that is because it takes you to that high. It takes you to a higher frequency, and it lets you escape. Now, the trick is, sweet ones, is to not return or allow yourself to go into addictions. That is not what I'm encouraging at all. What I'm saying is observe rather than judge. Humanity, throughout the courses of your life, put yourselves in a position to escape the physical reality. And the reason why because I don't exclude myself. Anything I say to you guys, it's because I've experienced it, I've gone through it, and I've lived it. I could not be who I am. I could not come on these videos. I could not write my posts had I not. Because the promise I made to myself when I began my journey, and when I came into awakening, and it was a very traumatic awakening for me, we escape the pain. We find reasons to escape rather than deal with things. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, sweet ones. I love you. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell you what to do. What is true for me will not be true for all of you. And the purpose is all of you are on your own level and on your own growth. But I made a promise to myself on my spiritual journey that if I could not do it authentically, then I didn't want to do it. Have I made mistakes on my journey? No. Now, to many of you, you would probably say, yeah. There is no mistakes in life. And I would really encourage each of you with these energies and with the chaos and turbulence that the physical world is presenting. I really encourage you to listen to your hearts, to really take that time out and observe your own emotions and your own thought processes and your own feelings. And observe over the course of your life, where do you have regrets? And I say that Because if you have regrets, that is showing you spaces where you still hold judgment against yourself. Every choice you have made, sweethearts, every decision you have made in your lifetime, up until you started your awakening journeys, your spiritual journeys, whatever label you would like to give it. When you started, you can look back and see how much you have grown from that moment that you started your journeys. And you can also look back and observe how much you have let go and how much you have not. There is no right or wrong. And it's easy to sit here and say that. And another thing to apply it to your physical life. The mind will convince you, and that's its job to convince you. I'm not judging the mind. The ego serves its purpose, sweethearts. But it serves a purpose to help you transcend itself. The ego serves a purpose by showing you the contrast between linear time, finite time, and infinite. Linear time and nonlinear time. The ego has the purpose of keeping you in duality, keeping you in separation. And by the ego doing its job, it is taking you into spaces and experiences that will help you transcend that separation and that duality. The ego mind judges, the heart does not. There are many beings out there that will tell you that judgment is good, that God does judge, that it is their place to judge, and that judgment is discernment. And sweet ones, all I'm going to say on that is go within. Because there is no judgment. There are many spiritual teachers out there, light workers, way showers, whatever you want to say, that will convince you or try to, or tell you that you have to follow them. No, you don't, including myself. I don't want any of you to take anything I say as the absolute truth. What I would like each of you to do is to go within and validate anything I or anybody else says. Because what is true for them is not necessarily true for you. Again, everybody is on their own level of awareness. God does not judge. Spirit in no way judges. Spirit accepts everything and everyone, wherever they are. Just because you go out and murder somebody or smoke crack or go have sex with a prostitute or whatever it may be, God is not judging you. God, Spirit, whatever it may be, is allowing you to experience what you need to experience to bring you back to unity, to bring you back to your heart. Now, does that make murders, rapists, drug addicts, thugs, whatever word you want to use, make them bad people? Ask yourselves that, sweet ones. No, it doesn't make them bad people. It is the ego mind that makes them bad people. Sweet ones, I can guarantee you And please, again, go within and validate it. You judge Hitler. You judge rapists. You judge murderers. You judge pedophiles. You judge our government. You judge each other. Ask yourselves why. What makes you any better than any of them? And what makes any of them better than you? It's these observations, sweet ones, that will clue you in to where you still hold yourself in separation. That you still are attached to beliefs. Because, sweet ones, you have been Hitler. You've also been the ones Hitler murdered. Sweet ones, you have been a rapist and you have been raped. You have been a murderer and you have been the one murdered. You have been a pedophile, a child molester, a child abuser. And you have been the one abused, molested, and hurt. You have been all things. And the reason you have been all these things is so you could experience the polarity of both. And the purpose of that in your past lives and this one was for you to give each of you the opportunity to live the polarity, because only by living that polarity are you able to truly understand in the physical form or linear time, if you will, the true nature of all that you are, that which is love. So when you focus these energies on hate, on racism, on prejudice, on anger, on everything you don't like, all it is showing you is something that was triggered within you from another moment. And these energies are asking you to observe all those things. Good and bad, right and wrong, justice and injustice are taught and learned mind programming. It is taught behavior. I can guarantee you, had you grown up in a different setting, a different culture, a different anything than what you were, and what you are, and what you have been, you would see the world through different eyes. One thing I grew up in a very small town. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, beautiful. Of about 6,800 people called Havre, Montana. I was in my teenage years before I ever seen a black-skinned person. And my first response to that young man that joined our high school, I looked at him and I said, "Why is your skin a different color than mine?" Not knowing that there was racism and prejudice out there in the world. Not knowing that skin color was supposed to make them different. But yet and the reason I bring that story up is because now I can fast forward to being 48 years linear time where I am right now in the state of Texas. And the cultural differences that I have ran into in Maryland and in Texas threw me into a state, in a space of absolute naivety, if you will. Our cultures, our religions, our societies teach us a certain way. It teaches us to believe that everybody else is different. It teaches us to believe that not everybody's blood is the same. Now, sweet ones, I can guarantee you again that the color of your blood, regardless of the color of your skin, whether it be white, whether it be pink, whether it be black, brown, red, purple, green, yellow, white, it don't matter. I can guarantee you that when you cut yourself, that your blood will each be the same color. I can guarantee you that when you strip away the judgments of the physical vessels, that every part of the physical body is no different. We are called rainbow warriors for a purpose. Not because those rainbow warriors all have white skin, red skin, brown skin, black skin, yellow skin. It don't matter. You look out the window or step outside in nature. How many different versions of trees do you see? How many different kind of plants do you see? How many different types of grass is there? Sweet ones, it is only the human race, the physical vessels of flesh, that judge. It is only the physical vessel, being, that creates separation. It is only each individual one of us human beings in the flesh that focus on separation. Now ask yourselves why. And when you can go within and you can ask yourselves and observe why you have the beliefs that you have, why you see skin color, why you see and believe what you believe, that is where you will find your answers to heal. It is observing rather than judging it. It is the ego mind that judges anything right, wrong, good, bad, or different. And that is what the awakening journey is showing you. That when you strip away all of this, that it's all the same. You are just a ball of conscious energy. And so, when you can observe your life, your actions, your thoughts, then you can begin to understand where your beliefs and what those beliefs are and how they affect your individual lives. Just because the lady downstairs uses cloth diapers and the lady upstairs uses Pampers doesn't make one better than the other. Just because that person doesn't cook the same way you cook doesn't make their food better than yours. Just because that person grew up in India and you grew up in the United States doesn't make you any freer or any better than they are. That is what you have been taught and what you have been learned. How many times, how many of you parents out there, how many of you have children? And how many of you, especially younger parents, how many of you have had your parents sit there and say, you're doing it wrong, you need to do it this way? Why is your way better, Mom? Well, it just is. Because I have more experience. Because I'm older. Does that make it true? Sweet ones? No. Because everything you were taught by your parents and your teachers and your government and your religions and your society is all based on stuff that they were taught. And if your parents and your grandparents and before them, your ancestors before them, had they not learned their lessons, had they not balanced their own karma, whatever it may be, that right there is going to show you that they too hold behaviors that they are passing on to you. So, sweet ones, really take the time to really feel into. Good morning, Brat. Really feel into yourself. See where you still hold beliefs. See where you keep yourself in separation. See where you still hold the belief that because you live in the United States or India or Australia or Africa, whatever it may be, see where you keep yourself separated from your beliefs. Because there is no belief that is true. As long as it matters to you, sweethearts, there is an attachment. Because if it matters, it does not matter. And why do I say it like that? I say it like that because as long as you have an attachment to any kind of thought, story, or belief, you are keeping yourself from fully uniting and unifying yourself with your spirit. Because spirit does not see your physical vessels, sweetheart. Spirit does not see your skin color. Spirit don't see your beliefs. What spirit sees, or God, or whatever name you want to give it, what spirit sees is energy. What spirit observes is energy. And it's all based on the energy within yourself that your physical eyes see on the outside world. Because you see, sweet ones, my connection to spirit and your connection to spirit and the guy next door's connection to spirit and the supermarket manager's connection to spirit, that spirit is one and the same. That spirit is not outside of you. That spirit is in your hearts. And so what spirit sees through your individual eyes is exactly how you feel within yourself. So if you're walking down the street and you see somebody with their pants down to their knees and you automatically assume they're a druggie, they're a thug, they're this, they're that. If you walk into a grocery store, to Walmart, and you're looking at all these people, and you judge them on the way they dress, or the way they talk, or the way they walk, that has nothing to do with them, sweethearts. That has everything to do with you. And when you really begin to observe yourself, you really can see where you keep yourself separating. You can really see your beliefs. And that is what these energies are asking each of you to do. is to really see where you keep yourself in separation, where you hold yourself above or below another person, where you base your worthiness outside of yourself. And you will find, sweethearts, that when you reach a space where you have done the inner work, you will reach a space where that love, that twin flame, that soulmate, yada, 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 is not needed. Because you have let go of need. And when you come to a space where you love yourself fully, you're no longer seeking it in another person, another being. Because you have found it all within yourself. Sweethearts, you have to. It is a necessity to fall in love, to evolve in love, and love absolutely the very things that your heart desires. You have to learn to love being without, and in love with the fact that you're without it, of the very thing that your heart desires. It is then and only then when you can learn to love being without that romance, being without that partner, being without that money, being without anything. Then and only then can it manifest for you. Until you learn to love being without, can you truly manifest it and have it be holy and pure in everything that you want. And the purpose for that is you are not able to appreciate the full spectrum of spirit as long as there is beliefs, attachments, or cords to any thought, to any belief, to any story. Because as long as you seek outside of yourself, you will never get what you want. You will always get what you put out. And until you put out being in love with yourself in every aspect, every way, every moment, every atom, then that ultimate love story cannot manifest. And the spiritual journey is taking you back to that ultimate love story. So if you want that perfect relationship, if you want that perfect job, that perfect life, whatever is perfect for you, sweethearts, then fall in love with it so you can evolve in love with it. Each of you have to and had to experience absolutely every polarity to love. And the reason you have to experience and go through all that you do is so you truly understand all that love is and what all that love is not. Because you cannot know or have an inner knowing what love is until you experience everything it is not. And that, sweet ones, is why you incarnate and you embody into a physical form. Because you chose to experience everything that love was not, in order to truly understand and appreciate everything that love is. All the pain in your relationships and within yourself stems from the core issue. Again, I'm going to bring it up. The core issue of you being born into physical form. Because when you leave the infinite and you incarnate into a physical vessel, you are veiling yourself. You are stepping into darkness. You are stepping into chaos. You are stepping into and by stepping into form, you are saying, I am here to experience. I am here to evolve myself to a higher level of all that I am. And sweethearts, as much as the ego mind and the humanness would love to keep us in a space of separation, your spirit and your heart knows that there truly is no separation. And that's the beauty of each of you. And that's the beauty of us. We don't have to be the same, sweethearts. That was taught to us, that we had to be different. And that we had to be the same. Because really they're the same sides of the same coin. It is only learned and taught behavior that creates separation. And it is that learned and taught behavior and those stories that you're being asked to release. So every person you meet, this is what helped me on my journey. And it didn't matter if it was my children, if it was my siblings, if it was my lover, if it was my ex-husbands, it didn't matter. Yet what helped me was every person that crosses my path or is in my presence, I take their face off. I literally just cut it off and put mine there. And I asked myself, okay, self, what is it that I need to observe here? What is it that I need to see in order to change it? And that, sweet ones, when you can look at everybody and see yourself, regardless of culture, regardless of religion, regardless of racism, skin color, it don't matter. When you can look at any being and see yourself, then you will have reached a space, whether what you see is good, bad, or indifferent. If you see yourself in them, then you have reached a space where you are starting to unify instead of continuing to separate. I love you, sweet ones. I do. And the greatest blessing for me is to assist and be in service to helping each of you return back to your hearts. And if I have succeeded with just one, then my mission is worth it. I love you. I love each and every one of you. Because neither of you, any of you, whichever label you want to say, is alone. We are all in this together. hand in hand, side by side. And together, we are creating love in all its ways, in all its aspects, and in all its forms. So let us come together. Let us unify. And let us continue to create love together while we are in love, as love, being love. Because that's all that matters. Because it doesn't matter. Love just is. Have a great day, sweet ones. I am holding you in eternal peace, grace, love, blessings, prosperity, abundance, and holiness. Because that's what we are. We are holy, and we are pure, and we are innocent, and we are love. Big, big hugs and blessings, sweet ones. I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.